14 minutes to go here in the very excited St. Louis arena. The fans, the capacity crowd really involved, trying to spur on the Blues to Game 7 at the Chicago Stadium. Hawks, though, with other plans, trailing 3-2.
Savard, Larmer, and Gilbert. Savard now taking the draw. Most of the time tonight has been Larmer in the face-offs against Ron Wilson. Wilson, Lowry, and Sutter for St. Louis. And it will be Larmer again, and Savard is tossed out. In the face-off, into the near corner, and then Schneps gave it away to Larmer, feeding Savard around. Schneps cuts in, fires, and it's a rebound. Gilbert stopped by Riendeau. What a save by Vincent Riendeau on Gilbert's great rebound chance. And now Savard tries to take a dive. Marawelli says play on. Here comes Conroy. Steve Conroy drives it into the Blues zone. Gino Cavallini dumps it right back out. Bob Murray for Chicago. Gave it to Manson. Manson got it to the line and shot it in. Paul Cavallini puts it around to the far side. Ron Wilson feeds Steve Tuttle at center. In on Manson. Tuttle trying to split the defense, can't do it. And it's poked free to center where Oates will dump it in. Tuttle over to the far side to dig it out. Centered one. Lowry couldn't kick it to the stick. And the Hawks move away. Wayne Presley into the St. Louis zone. In traffic. Knocked down. He still got rid of the shot. And Riendeau steers it to the corner. Taken by Paul Cavallini. Feeding Tuttle on right wing. His long pass, a two-line effort. If Lowry touches it, he does, and it is. And then Lowry and Yanni bump all the way into the corner. Ron Finn quickly there to make sure they go no further, but we may have a penalty. Dan Marawelli, I think, will. It appeared he might call a penalty, but maybe not. No, sir. Dan Marawelli just was pointing the other way. I thought he might be pointing to the penalty box.
Well, Vincent Riendeau's had a great series. And then he comes through with a big save, a Schneps giveaway. Savard with the shot. And on the rebound, Gilbert just had it kicked away by Riendeau on his backhand attempt. Schneps gave it away to Larmer, then went for the stick move, went for the puck, missed Savard and the puck. And Riendeau with a save on Savard, and then a better save on the rebound attempt from Gilbert.
St. Louis bench hollering about something as Ron Finn came over and got an earful. O'Brien, Sutter, and Joe Micheletti very active behind the bench right here, but the puck is dropped as Larmer tries to center when Brind'Amour steals a lead for Hull. He's in. Brett Hull a breakaway, going for the hat trick, and he shot it upstairs. Oh, with a breakaway chance, missed the net, and here comes Trent Yanni back the other way. Yanni got it to Savard. Steps in over the line. Savard up the slot. Had it chopped loose to the near corner. Gilbert there. Centered one. It's picked off by Paul Cavallini. Now Gilbert again. Put it in front. Zezel steals this one. And Peter Zezel got it to center. Brind'Amour. His pass is stolen. And Savard flipping it back into the St. Louis zone. Bouncing in behind the goal, and it's knocked down with the stick above the shoulder. Well, the play is stopped.
Brett Hull, amazing how he gets open.
Steve Conroy told you in the last intermission, he used the perfect word, opportunistic.
How many P's in that? I mean, it's unbelievable how many chances he gets. He has 13 goals, and he can have 5-6 more goals in this series. All alone, and tries to go to the upper corner, the glove side of Cloutier, and he shot it over the net, bidding for the hat trick. 5 hat tricks in the regular season for Brett Hull. Now Sutter's got his arm around Marawelli, and what's this all about?
Before the last faceoff, the Blues seem to be upset about something that the linesman might have been doing, and they had a few words with Ron Finn. Now Marawelli over to tell Mike Keenan what all that conversing was about. But the talk is short and sweet, and we'll have a draw with 12 minutes left outside the St. Louis line. Mongeau out there with Momesso and McLean. Hronek, Presley, and Thomas for Chicago. Mongeau has not had too many even strength shifts tonight. Now it's shot back into the Hawk zone. This is going to be an icing call against St. Louis. If the Blues hang on and finish off this victory, the decisive 7th game will be Monday night in Chicago Stadium, 7:35 Central Time. For that one, if it's necessary. And the Edmonton Oilers, I would imagine, hope that it will be necessary. They will have been off for 8 days, 7 days anyway, as the Stanley Cup semifinals for the Campbell Conference set to begin next Wednesday night. And regardless of who wins this series, that next series will begin in Edmonton. The Oilers finished 2 points better than the Hawks in the regular season. And of course, Chicago was ahead of St. Louis. Now to the left of Riendo, they're ready, and Momesso wins a draw to the near side, and McLean trying to clear it, and he did get it out to center ice. Manson leading for Thomas. He couldn't corral it off the boards, and Featherstone hammers it into the Hawk end. Bob Murray gave it to Hronek at center. Jeremy Hronek gains the line, weaving to the far side, chopped it in front. A bouncing puck, and Riendo swats it just wide. Now in the near corner, Thomas battling McLean. Came loose at the side of the net to Lallard. Left wing boards to Momesso. He rolled it to Mongeau. Back to Momesso, whose pass is taken by Featherstone, and he'll shoot it in. Adam Creighton starts the Hawks back to Troy Murray. Taking a long shot. Riendo steers it to Steve Tuttle. And he rolled it out to center ice. Pete Brown gave it to Troy Murray. Passed it to himself around Schneps, shooting, and he shot it wide. To the near point, Conroy, his long shot didn't get past Schneps. And Tuttle able to roll it back to center ice. Michel Goulet feeds Steve Conroy. Lifted ahead to Larmer over the line. Gave it to Savard in the near corner. He rings it around the boards, and Lowry able to clear it back to the Blackhawk end. Here's Larmer back into the St. Louis zone. Now a Rich Sutter steal as we reach the halfway point of the third period. The Blues trying to stave off elimination, own a 3-2 lead over the Blackhawks. Here's the play in the St. Louis end. Savard trying to center it, deflected in the slot, and Gino Cavallini sweeps it back the other way. Doug Wilson back to touch it for an icing call against St. Louis. Halfway through the third period, St. Louis 3, Chicago 2, as we pause for a regional break. With Dale Talon in the St. Louis arena, another sellout crowd on hand, and they're enjoying a 3-2 St. Louis lead at the moment. Here's Steve Thomas off the draw, trying to center it, couldn't get it through Brindamore. Thomas battles his way behind the net. Now muscled in front, shoots one. Riendeau stopped it, and he hangs on. A solo hard work effort from Steve Thomas there to even create a chance. But Riendeau shuts the door.
Twice from the corner, Thomas tried to bang it out front. First it hit Brendan Moore, then his second attempt he tried to slap it out there as hard as he could. It never got through. Good play by Brendan Moore. Back to Thomas. The second time he hit Brendan Moore again. Finally gets away from Brendan Moore. Dirk gets picked. And Thomas comes out, tries to stuff it on the short side. Didn't get much on it. Was deflected at the last second, but Riendeau, still a tough save, with a very dangerous Thomas bearing in on him.
Hronek, Thomas, and Presley against Brind'Amour, Zezel, and Hall. And the two rookies ready to the left of Riendeau. Brind'Amour winning the draw to Dirk. Robert Dirk gave it away to Thomas. A long shot sticked aside by Riendeau, and it's shot back into the Hawk zone. And this will be another icing call against the Blues.
Well, the Blues aren't going to take any chances, that's for sure. Any doubts at all. It's going hard out the zone. The last couple of shifts, that's what's happened. Riendeau just deflecting that shot from Thomas as Hronek was open in the slot. This is when the Blues are at their best. In the one-goal game, they seem to make the safe play at every opportunity.
Now Savard, Larmer, and Gilbert against Wilson, Sutter, and Gino Cavallini.
A lot of doubt on the face-off situations. A lot of people looking at their benches to see where they should be. You think after 80 games of the regular season and all these games in the postseason, you'd have pretty well an idea where you should be on the face-off.
There's the draw around to the near side. Rich Sutter and Gilbert come together. Then Ron Wilson dug it out to Gino Cavallini. Cranks a long shot wide to the near board. Sutter knocked down to the corner, chipped loose behind the net. Ron Wilson centered it. Rich Sutter at the side of the goal, couldn't pull the trigger. Wilson has it again. Centered it. Sutter, the shot. He scores! Richard Sutter makes it 4-2 St. Louis.
Well, Ron Wilson with some nifty skating and stick handling from behind the net. Sutter started it, then moved back out. His first attempt was deflected back. Wilson circled around, got the backhand pass out to Sutter. And Sutter with good forechecking. Wilson in behind to Sutter. Sutter back to Wilson. Wilson peels back on the backhand. Sutter let go. Wilson leaves him. Goes to the man behind the net, and Sutter makes him pay with a low shot just inside the far post. Doug Wilson had him tied up and let him go. Went behind the net, and that gave Sutter the room on the feed from Wilson.
Now Gilbert and Sutter off the draw. Gilbert, a major right hand. He's all over Sutter. They had a problem right from the ensuing face-off after the goal. As they dropped the puck, Gilbert wound up on the deck. He came up, had words with Sutter. They pushed back and forth, and then the gloves came off, and Gilbert just drifted Sutter with a straight right and leveled him. No penalties are on the way, but the Blues have the lead. Now Featherstone and Manson squaring off. But that's all for now as Marawelli quickly gets in between. With 8.5 minutes to go in the third period, it's St. Louis 4, Chicago
2. So, who's the computer for?
For my daughter. College.
There are moments when Gold MasterCard makes a difference.
Can I,
Oh, no, I got this one.
That's my dad.
With more buying power and the best buyer protection.
My skateboard.
Master Purchase covers you for 90 days against loss, theft, or breakage.
Dad?
If anything happens, one phone call will replace it.
Maybe I should carry this one, Dad.
Gold MasterCard, the best gold card to master the moment.
5-minute fighting, Majors, at 11:17 to both Gilbert and Sutter. Sutter's second goal of the playoffs from Wilson and Gino Cavallini at 11:07. Now give the Blues a 2-goal cushion with just under 9 minutes to go in the third.
Savard tossed out of the draw. And here's the face-off as Larmer gets it to Savard, flipping it in deep. Larmer to the far corner. Took a hit there. Gino Cavallini pries it loose. Savard looking to tie him up. He did. He nearly stole it, but Cavallini held on. And they still muck it up along the boards. Now Ron Wilson able to clear it back to the Hawk line. Doug Wilson there looking for Yanni. He's tied up. Gino Cavallini sweeps it loose back of the net. Tuttle. Goulet bumping him into the end boards. And then Doug Wilson came up with it. Aiding Savard. Savard tied up. Wilson able to help out. Gave it to Yanni. Trent Yanni works his way to center, flipping it in. Over to the far corner. Mike Lallard tied up on the boards. Now everybody hacking away on the far side. And they'll hold it there for a whistle. 7.5 minutes left in the third period. Blues 4, Hawks 2.
As the Tour de Light rolls across America, someone else has joined the race to win America's favorite light beer, Miller Lite. They have struggled up the Rockies, where they pulled out all the stops. Yes, these guys would not pump pedals cross-country for just any beer. Only the less filling beer that really tastes great, Miller Lite.
Yo, what are you? I took a shortcut.
St. Louis. All right, halfway there.
Now the draw in the Blues zone, and a high stick sends Roenick down to the ice, and Schneps, I believe, the guilty party. Jeremy Roenick gets looked at by Dan Maruelli. Has he been cut? Oh, it looks he might be spitting out his teeth. That's the second. That happened last year in the playoffs. Featherstone cross-checked Roenick right in the mouth. He lost a couple of teeth there, and it may have happened again here as a result of a Schneps high stick. This could well be a major. Let's see how Maruelli will call it. We'll tell you for sure when we come back. Yes, he is gone. Schneps is gone. Here's the game right here. It may be the season for the Blues. They'll be shorthanded for 5 minutes. They have a 2-goal lead. It's 4-2 St. Louis.
To get rid of her gray, my wife can spend 40 minutes. But I discovered the 5-minute hair coloring.
The revolutionary discovery called Just for Men from the leader in men's hair coloring. Simply apply Just for Men and in 5 minutes shampoo out.
Gray is blended away. The look of my natural color is back in 5 minutes. That was me, and it won't fade or wash out.
My hair takes forever, but you look great in just 5 minutes.
The look of your natural color in just 5 minutes with Just for Men.
Now the Blackhawks will get most of the remaining time with a power play. Schneps first hooked by Presley, and then he tries to slow up Roenick, and he gets the stick right into the face, draws blood in the lower lip. Roenick goes down. Schneps goes to the locker room. A 5-minute high sticking penalty and a game misconduct. So the Blackhawks on their 6th power play of the night with 7:28 to go in regulation. The Blues, though, have a 2-goal cushion. And the Hawk power play has 2 power play goals tonight. Only 7 in the series against the Blues. And they got 3 power play goals in the first 2 games.
Now the Blues penalty killers will be Wilson, Ron Wilson with Lowry. Lawler and Paul Cavallini. Here's the draw behind the net. Cavallini sweeps it to Lowry. Couldn't get it by Doug Wilson. They wrestle along the boards. Now came free to Bob Murray. Looking for Savard. He's too well covered. Got slashed by Paul Cavallini. The play goes on. Cavallini hoisting one. Back to center ice. Savard is going to get a penalty, I believe. Paul Cavallini goes down. Whistle has sounded. The players didn't hear it. And now a potential problem in the Hawk zone as the players going to the other end of the ice didn't hear Dan Maruelli's whistle. He was back in the blue zone. I think he was going to call a penalty on Savard, but now we may have more added to that. But Savard got slashed by Paul Cavallini, came back at him, slashed him back, and that's going to be a penalty on the Chicago centerman.
Well, you knew that Maruelli would look for anything to get. Cavallini got the slash, and really Savard then got cross-checked. And then Savard losing control and retaliating in a situation like this. He got the slashing penalty on Cavallini, regardless of the fact that Cavallini did it to him. He's got to take that situation because Maruelli never saw it. And Savard goes to the penalty box, so he gives the Blues a big break with 4:32 remaining on the 5-minute penalty to Schneps.
If the Blues go on to win in Game 7 in Chicago Stadium, what do you do if you're Mike Keenan? Greg Millen started the first 3 games of the series. Ed Belfour came into play the next 2, played brilliantly, got hit for 2 in the first 2.5 minutes of the game tonight, was lifted, and Cloutier makes his first postseason appearance tonight. 3 choices for Keenan, and should he get to that 7th game? So you wanted to be a coach, huh?
Well, right now I'd have to give the nod to Cloutier, the way he's played. And Savard, Maruelli missing that vicious slash by Cavallini. And catches. It's always the way, though. The retaliatory penalty is always the one that seems to get caught.
So 4 skaters aside here as the Hawks Larmer trying to spring Roenick. The pass eludes him. It's kept in by Larmer, though. Shoots one, tip, and a save by Riendeau. Then Roenick got driven into the net by Featherstone. And Roenick, I believe, redirected that Larmer shot. Riendeau with a neat stop to keep his team up a pair.
Well, Larmer just got to it, let it go without looking. And Roenick right there might have gotten a piece of it. Then Featherstone rams him into his own goaltender, and Riendeau upset with Maruelli because Roenick hit him. But it was his own player, Featherstone, that created the damage. Roenick with 7 goals, leading all rookies in that category. Brind'Amour leading all rookies in total points.
Larmer and Roenick against Oates and Hall. As we play 4 aside, here's the draw. Larmer's backhander is blocked, came loose to the line. Hall got away from Wilson. Here's another 2-on-1. Hall over the line, makes a bid for the hat trick, and a save, rebound, and another save by Cloutier. Now here's Jeff Brown, clearing it around the boards, and out comes Roenick. 1-on-1 with Featherstone. Roenick crossing the line to his backhand. He got spun around, knocked down, and the play goes on. Manson then fails to hold it in at the line. Presley turning at center. Clearing it into the St. Louis end. Brett Hull got help from Jeff Brown. Lifting one to the Chicago line. And Thomas turns back the other way, steps into the blue zone. Steve Thomas, a shot and a save, rebound, and a save by Riendeau on Presley. Presley digs it out behind the net. Couldn't get by Tuttle, however. And Steve Tuttle harassed by Presley, who steals. Presley centered it. Bob Murray couldn't get any wood on that. Tuttle looking to clear. He does. And the Blues might have another 2-on-1. Here's Tuttle with Jeff Brown over the line. Tuttle moving in, trying to center it, deflecting over the stick of Oates. Keith Brown the other way. Here's 2 defensemen on a Hawk rush. Keith Brown a long shot. Riendeau gave up a rebound, and Manson couldn't get there. Paul Cavallini, a nice play to clear it, and it winds up back at the Hawk line. Lemieux into the blue zone, around Cavallini, cutting it around, another man shoots. He shot it just wide. Great rush by Lemieux, and then he was slashed as he let the shot go. Now into the far corner, Cavallini knocked down by Lemieux. The Savard penalty's over. Hawks are back to a power play. Here's Savard, side of the net. Savard slipped it in front. Brown a drive. Riendo the save, and the Blues control and clear. 2 minutes to go in the Chicago power play. 4.5 for the third. Here come the Hawks. Savard over the line. The drive. Another save by Riendo. Rebound Troy Murray centering. Riendo blocked the pass before it got to Larmer. Coming to the near corner. The Blues clear. Now Savard back into St. Louis territory around Lawler. Fired. Riendo another save. To Wilson a shot. Didn't get through. To the far corner Savard. Tied up there by Lawler. Came loose to Tuttle. Couldn't get it out. Yanni a long shot. Riendo stopped that to Lawler. He cleared to center ice. Hawks dumping it right back in there. Larmer behind the net. Got a rough ride from Lawler, who knocked him down on top of the puck in the corner. Then it came loose to Roenick. Here there's a wraparound and a save. Rebound right through the goal crease. The Hawks miss scoring by an inch. And the Blues, Oates comes up with it. Adam Oates back into the Chicago zone. Will just calmly waste a little time. A minute left on the Chicago power play. 3.5 for the third. 4-2 Blues. Here's Steve Thomas. Lost it as he came over the line. Bob Murray will dump it in. All Cavallini back. Hammers it around the boards. Murray at the line keeps it in. Here's long shot. Didn't get through. Big scramble in the slot area, and the whistle sounds. Just before the puck came loose, Dan Marawelli lost sight of it and stopped the play. And we're down to 3 minutes remaining in the third period.
And Vincent Riendo, another terrific night, especially in the last couple of shifts. He's been terrific. Roenick in behind the net, tries the wraparound. Deflects up in the air. Riendo kicks it. Savard hacks at it. Just misses the far post, or the near post, and Roenick couldn't corral it. Hawks buzzing all around the Blues net. Riendo kicks it away and then gets a break of Savard's rebound attempt. Just hacked wide, and then 4 players go crashing to the ice. 34 seconds remaining on the 5-minute high sticking penalty, and 3 minutes to go in the third period. Hawks with 17 shots here in the third, a lot of them in the power play. The Blues, though, with a 2-goal cushion on Rich Sutter's goal at 11:07.
Sutter and Lowry with singles for St. Louis. Brett Hull, who scored twice. Savard and Roenick have the Chicago goal. Ron Wilson and Troy Murray to the left of Riendo. Wilson won the draw to Featherstone. Put it around the board, and it trickles free to center ice. Troy Murray. Leave it to Bob Murray, turning behind the net. Now Manson. Ahead for Troy Murray. He got it to center, and Thomas on the move, steps over the line on Featherstone, trying to muscle his way in front, centered it. Lowry steals and clears it down the length of the ice. And the Blues, their penalty is over in just a second as the Hawks dump it in. Both teams are now back at full strength. 2.5 minutes left. Lawler at center, dumping it in, and the Blues have failed to clear, so the offside whistle sounds. And they're on their feet in the St. Louis arena.
Well, they weather a big storm because of Riendo's fine play in the net. The 5-minute power play helped by a slashing penalty from Savard. But at 4-on-4, the Blackhawks had an edge in play and some chances with Riendo. Brilliant.
attention of the officials.
Some debris on the ice.
Yeah, I think he's got some debris, and he's got a little ice problem right in the goal crease, and that's hardly a surprise. An awful lot of play has been in that area, especially in the last few minutes.
It's like somebody threw a coin on the ice. The worst thing you could possibly do.
Here's the draw. Doug Wilson pounds it in there. Lawler and Larmer battle in the corner. Then Savard dug it out but was knocked down. Ron Wilson came up with it. But Jeff Brown lead for Sutter. He's in alone. Rich Sutter a shot. And a safe rebound. Taken by Wilson. And it's blocked by Greg Gilbert. Greg Gilbert saved a goal with Cloutier down and out on the play. And Gilbert gives his team a fighting chance.
Sutter in behind the Hawk defense. A pass right on the money. Sutter looking for his second goal of the period. And Cloutier kicked it away. And then Gilbert goes down with Cloutier down. Wilson shot blocked. If it gets by Gilbert, it's history. It's 5-2 St. Louis.
To go in the third. Now Roenick, Lemieux, and Thomas come out for Chicago. It'll be Oates, Lowry, and Tuttle for St. Louis. Ready to the right of Cloutier, and the draw is taken by Bob Murray. Murray gave it to Manson, looking for Lemieux. It was behind him. Bob Murray has to turn in his own end. Gave it to Manson. This time he got it to Lemieux at center, who dumps it in. Riendo pushed it to the near side, and Tuttle. There's it back the other way. Lowry racing, and after it's going to get there, shoots one. Cloutier got a piece of that. Rebound to the near side. Now over to the far corner goes Tuttle. Carrying it around to the near board. Steve Thomas. Thomas works his way to center ice. Dumping it in. Rich Sutter couldn't get it out. Yanni, as Cloutier remains in the game, looking to the bench but getting no signal. Blues clear it to center. We're into the final minute. Savard steps over the St. Louis line, shoots one. Riendo the save. Rebound Gino Cavallini. Clears it to the near side, not out. Gilbert to the corner. Savard. Savard tries to center, picked off, and the Blues work it to center ice. Rich Sutter dumping it into the Hog zone. Half a minute left. We're going to have a Game 7 on Monday night in Chicago Stadium. Here comes Larmer. To Gilbert over the line. Cloutier halfway to the bench. Still doesn't get a signal. He stays in as the Blues clear it back the other way. And the St. Louis Blues have kept alive. They're going to beat the Hawks tonight 4-2. It's all over. Vincent Riendo mobbed by his teammates, and well, he should be. Brian Sutter can take a deep breath for the first time tonight as the Blues, on the brink of elimination, keep their playoff hopes alive and force a decisive 7th game back in Chicago on Monday night. In the third period, Riendo facing 18 Chicago shots. He stopped them all. 11 shots for St. Louis. The game total 39-28, favoring Chicago. The only goal of the third period, Richard Sutter from the doorstep, assisted by Ron Wilson and Gino Cavallini at 11:07. That gave the Blues all the breathing room they needed. And this series is all even at 3 games apiece. Your final score tonight, in front of a happy sellout St. Louis Arena crowd, the Blues 4, the Blackhawks 2.
The instructional video they're all talking about, teaching the mechanics of the Major League Swing. Jack Stallings, head coach at Georgia Southern College and representative of the IBA, the governing body of the International Amateur Baseball Association, calls it great photography, easy to understand, well organized, and thoroughly covers the essential aspects of hitting. The Houston Chronicle says it's a fantastic study of hitting. Houston Baptist College baseball coach Ricky Witt calls it the best, most concise approach to hitting I've come across in 15 years. Developed by professional hitting instructor Tommy Mansky at Orlando's Baseball World, this tape features demonstrations by Houston Astros All-Star Glenn Davis and instruction in freeze frame and slow-mo analysis with an outstanding drill section.
Hi, I'm Glenn Davis. I'm so impressed with this teaching video by Tommy Mansky that I've given it my complete endorsement. And when you watch it, you'll see why.
Teaching the mechanics of the Major League Swing. Players and coaches at all levels. Credit card orders will be shipped immediately by priority mail. So call toll-free now, 1-800-833-1950.
It's part of the celebration and part of the game. It's a big night out and a warm welcome home. When the job's well done and you call it a day, it's there. And for 80 million responsible Americans, it's simply a good part of the good life. It's beer. A message from Budweiser.
I'm alone now, but I'm not lonely. Oh, for a while I believed the myth that it's all downhill as you grow older. But now I know there are people who need me as much as I need them. Feeling alive is as simple as sharing the experience of a lifetime.
For your continuing good health from the American Medical Association.
The first legitimate 2-goal difference in the 6 games played in this series. The Blues win it tonight 4-2. The only other 2-goal decision was the result of an empty netter at the end of one of the earlier games. But a great series continues to add chapters as we go along. There will be a decisive 7th game on Monday in Chicago Stadium. And the St. Louis Blues, despite giving up a pile of chances in the third period, they depended on Vincent Riendeau, and he came through big time.
Well, Riendeau's had a brilliant series. Blackhawks, though, gave up the early lead to the Blues. The Blues had the lead after 2 periods. The Hawks unable to come from behind all season long. They were unable to do that. And the Blues hung on for dear life with some power play work by the Blackhawks. But Vincent Riendeau, as good as he possibly can be. He's been brilliant in this series, and it's a very, very exciting series. No better series than this. And it goes down to a Game 7, and that's the way it should be. Both these teams very equal. Both teams have played with the same emotion and intensity, and it's going to be a great Game 7 at the stadium. It should be rocking.
The Blues took a 3-2 lead into the third period, and they got a huge goal here to give them a little bit of breathing room.
Well, exactly that. Some good work by Sutter. He's knocked down. Ron Wilson peels back. Now, Sutter, who was knocked down and eliminated from the play. Wilson, that was his man, but he let him go to Wilson. 2 guys run Wilson. Sutter left all alone, and he beat Cloutier low to the stick side to give the Blues a 4-2 cushion, and it was plenty. But Riendeau was busy later on in the period, especially when the Hawks had a 5-minute power play.
There will be a lot of thinking going on both sides of the fence, I'm sure, between now and Monday. We know who is going to be starting in goal for St. Louis, Vincent Riendeau. Mike Keenan, though, has 3 choices. He's used all 3 of his available netminders in this series, and just hazarding a guess, I would think he's going to come back with Belfour. Do you think he might stick with Cloutier?
I don't think Belfour's got a chance of starting. It's too important a game. He didn't start well tonight. He's got no experience. I think Cloutier or Millen. I think Cloutier, the way he finished, the way he played this game, will probably get the start, and maybe Millen will be the backup.
Well, there's going to be a lot of thinking going on. As we said, it'll be interesting to see how both coaches choose to start their teams and what lineups will be employed. I would imagine Brian Sutter might stay with the same, but Mike Keenan has a lot of choices and decisions to make in the next 2 days. A decisive, climactic Game 7, Monday night, Chicago Stadium, 7:30 Central Time. The final score tonight, forcing that 7th game, was St. Louis 4, Chicago 2.
Ever wonder what they mean by zest?
This is Sports Channel, home of your home teams. Here's what's coming up tonight.
You're watching Sports Channel, home of your home team.
He shoots and scores!
Conacher. Presenting Power Stick Hockey Week, an inside look at all the action of the NHL. Coming up, the Oilers savor a sweep and stand tall, while the Bruins try to march past the Canadiens in Montreal. Introducing Power Stick Antiperspirant, 24-hour protection in one stroke.
When you've got your power stroke going, you've got confidence that nothing's going to beat you. Power Stick, the antiperspirant so effective, you get darkness protection in just one wide stroke. 24-hour protection in just one stroke. Nothing's going to beat you. Power Stick from Fabergé.
From the McGruff Files, the Philadelphia story. In certain parts of Philadelphia, things were rough. Areas were run down. Crime and drugs were out of hand, and honest folks felt like prisoners in their own homes. To turn things around, police set up neighborhood substations so they could be closer to the people. Things happened pretty quick after that. Weekly meetings led to community cleanup projects. Vacant lots were cleaned up and fenced. Neighbors even started planting gardens. Nice job, Sherry. Real nice. All the folks pitched in. Garbage was recycled, street lamps were fixed. Before you knew it, they turned a bad situation around. The neighbors had their neighborhood back. How about that? Way to go, guys. Things are looking better for these folks in Philly. Yeah, that's what happens when people and police work together. So pick up a pencil and write this down, and I'll show you how you can help. Let's get the neighbors together and help me take a fight out of crime.
Welcome back to a Power Stick Hockey Week playoff special. Up first, the Smythe Division, where the final showdown comes to a sudden end. After dropping 2 games in Edmonton, the Los Angeles Kings were hoping to put the cap on the Oilers. To do that, they would have to solve an Edmonton defense that allowed just 1 goal in the first 2 contests. In Game 3, the Kings did score 4 times,
But it wasn't enough to beat the Oilers, who continued to get the big play from goaltender Bill Ranford. Growing with confidence, Ranford has forged his hockey identity in the playoffs.
The biggest thing that Billy had to realize that he just had to be Bill Ranford and nobody else. And the important thing for him also was that no one person was going to win or lose the series, and he couldn't put that pressure on himself. But there's enough pressure coming from the outside without him putting an enormous amount of pressure on himself. And when he realized that, he relaxed, and he's played great ever since.
The Oilers now had a 3-0 series lead over a banged-up Kings team that was looking for something to build on.
The positive thing about it is that we very easily could be up 2-1. Unfortunately, we didn't score any goals. The work ethic has been there, the determination. Now we've got to add the finishing touches. If we can do that, then the series will certainly turn around. But you look for those character people that have been through situations like that to provide that kind of leadership.
But you've really got to be mentally tough at this time of the year. God knows how many injuries are on the Oilers side of the rink. Nobody really knows. It's a lot of commitment, a lot of sacrifice at this time of the year. But everybody, like I said, has to be so mentally tough. You have to really put everything on the line. And the new guys that come in the lineup have got to play big. That really shows the depth of a hockey team, whether a team really deserves to win.
You can never let a team off the mat. I mean, I've been in both scenarios where never in a 3-0 deficit have we come back to win or have we lost. But certainly in a 3-1 situation where we've won a series and lost a series, and it's amazing what momentum can do, and you never want to give a team an opportunity. So when you got them down, you really got to finish them.
The Kings were well aware of what they faced. Their lineup was without the likes of Dave Taylor, Tim Waters, and their biggest guy, Wayne Gretzky, whose back injury was indicative of the role fortune can play.
Bruce McNall, the Kings owner, standing up, and boy, things are really going wrong. Even his horse got injured the other night. Frankly, Perfect, the horse that he owns with Gretzky.
Now the Kings were more worried about Edmonton's horses.
Sending it down the right side to Anderson, up the middle to Simpson. Simpson with a nice move to Messier. He scores!
The Oilers were slick. Craig Simpson set up 2 goals and scored one of his own. By the midway point of the second period, Edmonton held a commanding 4-1 lead. But all of a sudden, the Kings came back.
Krushelnyski with Tonelli. 2-on-1. Hold it, Tonelli. In front, and he scores! Robinson indeed. Robinson driving around the net pass in front, and a shot. Score! A short-handed goal. And the Kings have taken the lead.
It all seemed to be turning against the Oilers, but oh, how changeable Lady Fortune can be.
Puck caroms around the left wing boards to Mark Lamb. Lamb kicks it in the corner, taken away by McSorley. McSorley's pass, broken up, pass, shot, score! From the left wing boards, it got by Rudy.
Esa Tiikkanen's goal meant overtime, an aspect of playoff hockey that the Kings had success with in 2 wins against Calgary. But each overtime brings its own pressures, and both teams understood what was at stake here.
5-5 the score. The Kings lose, their season is over. If they win, they play again Thursday night in Edmonton. And on the draw, puck comes right point, Ruotsalainen with a shot and a save by Rudy. Rebound in front, Murphy scores! And the Oilers win it, and the Kings season is over.
The kid line had struck again. Joe Murphy, playing with Adam Graves and Martin Gelinas, had finished off Los Angeles at 4:42 of sudden death. The Oilers were on a 7-game roll as bright young talent meshed with a core of proven playoff performers.
Oh, it was great. I was just happy to, score the goal. There was a rebound off of Rio's shot, Rio Ruotsalainen, and came to me, and I just cut to the middle and shot the puck, and, it went in the net. It was just a great feeling. I was happy to finish the series off.
In stark contrast to last year, now it was Edmonton's turn to enjoy the moment, while the Kings pondered the anguish of elimination.
I don't think I've had a sweet loss. I don't think there's I don't know if there's an especially bitter one or if there's an especially sweet one. They all feel the same. They're all so empty, and
I think our guys played their hearts out. I think everyone did the best they could, and like I said after Game 3, not much can be said. We played hard and we lost to a good hockey team.
For the Oilers, sweetness in the joy of victory and the knowledge that they were once again Smythe Division champions. And with the sweep, another plus. 8 days to rest and prepare before resuming the grind of Stanley Cup play. Now the Prudential presents Future Stars. Build your future on the Rock. Meet Stanley Cup sensation John Druce of Washington. Druce, who had just 8 goals during the year, already has 11 in the playoffs. It seems like whenever he breaks loose, Druce is sliding one home.
John Druce using his strength, powering to the net and deflecting in the Hunter pass.
Building a solid future with the Capitals right-winger John Druce.
Ladies and gentlemen, I wish my old partner was here tonight, because this used to be our song. I have everything.
All my dreams come true.
Eddie.
You're my arms, Dawson Bomb, and a hope for two.
In the movies, happy endings are easy, but in the real world, they take solid planning. So for investment advice, peace of mind, even buying or selling a home, come to the companies of the Prudential and build your future on the Rock.
When you need money fast, call Metropolitan Mortgage. All they ask is, are you a homeowner and how much do you need? It doesn't matter about income, age, credit, or why you want the money. And since all you need is sufficient equity in your home, your loan is usually approved in 24 hours. For money fast, now when you really need it, call the Metropolitan Mortgage Company.
Metropolitan Mortgage is standing by right now for your call. From anywhere in Florida, dial 1-800-EASY-YES.
We're back now with Boston and Montreal in the Adams division. After taking a 2-0 series lead in Boston, the Bruins gathered Monday morning at the Forum in preparation for Game 3 later that evening with the Canadiens. With the visitors taking aim at a 3-game series lead, the Habs knew this was one they had to have.
We have to win tonight. We just can't dig a hole deeper than it is right now. We have to come out in Montreal and going back to Boston with the series even if we expect to win the series.
Despite their success at home, the Bruins knew that avoiding a nosedive in the hallowed Forum would be no easy task.
It's going to be really tough 2 games here, and especially tonight, they're going to give it their best. And first 2 games could have gone either way. We found a way to win both of them. We got to find a way to win tonight, and it's real important to win a game in here, especially the 3rd game would be real important, and that's what we're going to try to achieve.
The team that wins this game has definitely got the momentum, so we're going to go out there and take this game on like it was the first one of the series and play with everything we got in order to try and get the win. And if for a minute we think that because we've got 2 wins it's going to be easier, I think we're wrong. And I don't think we'll approach it that way at all.
Late afternoon, and game time was fast approaching. Montreal fans who had gathered outside the Forum hoping to catch a glimpse of the Bostonians were anticipating yet another classic between these 2 teams.
We've gotten used to playing Boston. I guess about 7 years in a row now that we've done that, and it's something that you look forward to every year, except we also expect to beat them every year, and when we don't, it doesn't go over too well. And so we think that 2-0, we've come back from worse than that before, so see what happens.
So with their most important game of the year upcoming, the Canadiens joined the Bruins on ice for their pregame warm-up. For the starting goalies, Patrick Waugh and Andy Moog, no muscle went unstretched. While Boston's Cam Neely thought intensely about what lay ahead, his high-scoring Habs counterpart, Stéphane Richer, went through his paces in the Montreal end. With a standing-room-only crowd on hand, all the ingredients were in place for another Montreal-Boston classic. Waugh looked sharp early on, but later with his team on a power play, surrendered the game's opening goal. Taken by Wesley behind, and Wesley flips off of Richer, and a chance now for Carter to move in. Carter with a shot, he scores! John Carter short-handed, 1-0 Boston. The Bruins would eventually lead 2-1 in the second, but then Russ Courtnall broke loose. But his pass kicked back over to Peterson. On comes Courtnall, moving right in. Courtnall again, he scores! With the game tied and the momentum now clearly in Montreal's favor, Mike Milbury called an important timeout as his troops regroup. And shortly thereafter, John Carter recaptured a Boston lead.
Ward moves in, dips by a couple, and Benn on the shot. Still controls. Carter a shot. Score! Off of Waugh! And again, Boston scores a goal that a normal Waugh might have gotten, but he is not normal tonight.
One Brian Propp goal later, and Waugh was headed to the showers as Boston dominated the rest of the way, earning a 6-3 win. For Carter and his mates, this was perhaps the most satisfying victory of the year.
This is right up there. It's definitely a big win for us. You know, it was quite a thrill to play in it. You know, I grew up in the Boston area. You know, playing in this series, you know, it's a great tradition. You know, growing up watching it and to play in it, it's great. And tonight was really a big thrill for me.
I am surprised because you don't ever expect to be up 3-0 against Montreal after 3 games. Over the past, we've had so many disappointments, and we've been in this situation many times. So this is really a change, and I can't believe it. I'm so happy right now, and there's still a lot of work left, but we're going to enjoy this for a couple of hours.
2 nights later, and the two rivals were at it again. When trailing 3-0, Montreal had never lost a 4th game at home, while the confident Bruins sought to break that streak.
Feathered loose by Keane, ties up with Wesley, though. Trouble from Propp. Ahead comes Carbonneau. A shot, score!
Carbo's first period tally was matched late in the second by John Carter's score, setting the stage for some third period heroics from rookie Stéphane Lebeau, playing in place of an injured Stéphane Richer. Lebeau came through, converting a rebound early in the third to give the Habs the lead. But Pat Burns wanted more, and the 22-year-old rookie obliged, stuffing home an insurance marker 7 minutes later.
Waits and fires, and that one went off and falls behind him. Picked up by Lebeau, tries a stopper. They score!
Lebeau's pair brought the Forum back to life as Montreal went on to win it 4-1, with Guy Carbonneau closing it all out with an empty netter. The Bruins would have to wait at least another game if they were to finish off the Habs.
Well, we certainly didn't play like a team that wanted to put them away tonight. I mean, they came out with a great effort, and we didn't come out with as hard or better effort. You know, and we knew it was going to take a lot to beat them tonight, but we just didn't put it out on the ice.
I think we maybe laid back a little bit too much and weren't pressuring them as much as we have the last 3 games. And it came down, and we were still tied going into the third period. They got that second goal and gave them a little bit of life and ended up getting a third one. But, you know, we're still up 3-1 in this series, and we've worked very hard, and I think that we have to come out a little bit harder on Friday night.
We can't be going out here with our heads down low and going to the plane, you know, to go home all upset about this. I mean, hey, we were beating 1 game. We played hard to get where we are, and we got to win 1 more, and we're gonna do our damnedest to do it on Friday.
Now it's time once again for the Power Stick Power Puzzle. The 1990 playoffs have featured many thrilling overtime games, some decided in the first minute. See if you can come up with the quickest ever playoff overtime game and the man who scored the winner.
When you've got your power stroke going, you've got confidence that nothing's going to beat you. Power Stick. The antiperspirant so effective, you get 24-hour odor and wetness protection in just 1 wide stroke. 24-hour protection in just 1 stroke. Nothing's going to beat you. Power Stick from Fabergé.
In 1986, Montreal defeated Calgary 3-2 in Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Finals, with Brian Skrudland netting the winner just 9 seconds in.
You're watching Sports Channel, home of your home team.
Next up, the Norris Division. Blues and Blackhawks tied at 1. Back home in St. Louis, the Blues were hoping to maintain the flow as they faced Chicago in Game 3. Despite being heavily outshot, the Blues held a one-goal lead in the third period, but the Hawks eventually went on top.
It winds up behind the net again. Thomas trying to wrap around. They score! Steve Thomas puts the Hawks in front for the first time tonight. 4-3.
But if the Blues have learned anything this year, it's not to quit. In the game's final minutes, that lesson paid off in stunning fashion.
Now Zessel near corner. Center one, Jeff Brown, a back pass. Roberts has to chase for it. Now takes the long shot. They score! Gord Roberts! Shot one through traffic. It may have been deflected, and Greg Millen appeared as if he never saw it. And the Blues come right back and tie the game at 4. Gino Cavallini kept it in. Behind the net, Old center it. Old McLean missed it. Now Jeff Brown, the shot. Millen the save, rebound, Cavallini. They score! St. Louis with 9 seconds left. Cavallini makes it 5-4.
Gino Cavallini's first goal of the playoffs couldn't have come at a better time for the Blues, who skated off with a 2-1 series lead.
They came at us with everything they had. We weathered the storm. We had a lot of penalties to kill off, and the penalty killers in the defense did a great job. Vince Riendo again came through for us. I don't know how many shots, 50-some shots on net tonight. Maybe was a difference too.
There's any bunch of guys that can bounce back. There's no question that we can. We just have to go out there and we have to work and work and work.
The work ethic, Chicago style. Mike Keenan preaches it, and in Game 4, his disciples played with a fervor that was downright religious.
Here's Presley back over the Blues line, weaving to the deep slot, waiting, shooting. He scores! Goulet dug it out to Creighton, a moving and shoot. Blocked by Jeff Brown, trickling right in front. They score! Goulet! Savard weaves to the far side. Now put it to Yanni just off the bench. He shoots, he scores! Trent Yanni! Savard laid the mattress pass there, and Yanni laid on it and blows it by Riendo for a 3-1 Chicago lead.
Making the first playoff start of his career, Ed Belfour protected what eventually became Chicago's 3-2 lead in a frenetic final period.
Ron Wilson tries for Cavallini, did well to hold it in, then center Gino, he shoots, big save by Belfour. Here's Hull right in, great save by Belfour.
Every one of these games has gone right down to the last minute.
Dazzle to Momesso, Belfour again holds the fort for Chicago.
A happy group of Blackhawks whose 3-2 win had evened the series at 2 apiece. With 18 third-period saves, Ed Belfour nailed down the victory.
Oh, it's always a confidence builder every time you win a game, and especially in the other opponent's building, and it feels good.
We played the first 20 and the last 20, and Belfour stood on his head for him in the third period. Maybe we should play a little bit more desperate like that for 60 minutes. If we do, we'll win.
We've gone through a little bit of adversity the last couple of days, and it's nice to go back home and get a day to think about it tomorrow and start all over again on Thursday.
The Stanley Cup, hockey's most prized possession. The action heats up as the NHL's best hits the ice in a race for the cup. All the excitement and drama of the entire playoffs can be yours with the official 1990 Stanley Cup home video. See all 16 playoff teams in an emotion-filled struggle for NHL supremacy. This must for every hockey fan has it all, the heroes and the heartaches, as we put you right behind the bench.
Let's go, up and in, come on!
Reserve your copy of the official 1990 Stanley Cup home video for only $23.95. Credit card customers call 1-800-321-PUCK. That's 1-800-321-PUCK. Or send check or money order to Stanley Cup Home Video, Post Office Box 68618, Indianapolis, Indiana 46268. Don't miss out on all the action. Order yours today.
America, America, God shed his grace on thee and crowned thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
beauty and thrills of thoroughbred racing at Gulfstream Park, exclusively on Sports Channel.
Now for a peek at the Patrick Division, Capitals and Rangers. Game 2 in New York. The Rangers get brought down, especially when they can't get up ice.
Caps have done a good job bottling up the Rangers. Rangers having trouble getting through the neutral zone.
The Rangers had trouble in every aspect, losing 6-3 as surprising John Druce delivered a hat trick.
A guy like John, probably was considered mostly a checker, and he's putting in his share. Just, I guess this is the time for guys like that.
If we go home and we win 2 games and we come back in here and it's 3-1, and it's the pressure's on them to win a game, so it's a big win for us tonight.
I wouldn't expect that teams would go through the whole series without winning on the road, so we're confident we can do it in there.
With Dino Ciccarelli sidelined with a sprained knee, Ranger confidence may have been that much greater. But the Cap Center was sky high for Game 3, at least until Don Beaupre went off injured in the first period. 2 strikes down. The Caps looked once more for John Druce.
Hunter tried to center, but gets it to Courtnall, hits the post, and it's put in! John Druce does it again! Nice move away from King. 3-on-2 Cap. Druce with the puck. Centers, down the middle, Courtnall. He scores! Druce moves in front. A save by Richard. Druce again! He scores! He's unbelievable!
That's just unheard of. They'll put up a monument here.
That's bad news for the Empire State and the Rangers, who now trailed 2-1 as the Caps continued to overcome the odds.
I think a lot of guys felt that, with Dino gone, that somebody was going to have to fill his spot, somebody was going to get his ice time, and I think everybody just really felt in here, we wanted to win for Dino and hopefully continue on and get him back in the next series.
Game 4 in Washington, and the Capitals look to serve up another round of Druce, who once again squeezed out another deuce.
Druce looking, Hunter sets up in front. Shot by Stevens, knocked down by Richard. Batted in, they score!
That ties it with Brett Hull for the most in the league in the playoffs. That's a legitimate goal.
Hunter along the boards against Erickson. Back to Courtnall. Now it's Hatcher looking. Wrists it toward the net. Score! A deflection by John Druce. And the Caps now lead 3-1.
But late in the third period, the Rangers rallied. John Ogrodnik scored at 15:58, and 2.5 minutes later, Roger Nielsen pulled Mike Richter, sending 6 skaters towards the net, desperate for the tie.
Langway trying to move it around. Kissel gets there. Centers. Nichols. Scoots. He scores! Yes. Burrell says it's in, and the Rangers have tied it.
And so on to overtime. A crucial sudden death in a pivotal game. An unlikely hero would soon emerge.
Leach has the puck. Back to Langway. Shot blocked by Gartner. Couldn't break out. Langway heads for the net. Langway shoots. He scores! The Caps win!
He did not score a goal all season. Gets one of the biggest of his illustrious career.
Goals don't come any bigger. The Caps are up 3-1 as the series heads back to New York. Now let's go over the boards and put in a little OT on overtime. In 66 playoff games thus far, 12 have gone to sudden death. In the world of sport, nothing matches a Stanley Cup overtime.
Trying to win this one in overtime to keep their season alive and force that 7th game. Here's Evason stealing the outlet, backhanded in front. They score! Kevin Dineen may have tipped it in. The Whalers win. Here's Granato with a chance to win it. He shoots. He scores!
Finley has picked up the left-right possession. Bollig beats him. Jeff Finley with a shot. They score! Brent Sutter! In for Lamb. Lamb going to the back and scores! Skrudland taken out by Ramsey. Corson behind the net. Skrudland. They score!
George keeping it. To Janney behind the net. In front. Shot!
Cleared but not out. Duchesne with a drive. Unfortunately, now we're out of time, but next week we'll take another shot on Power Stick Hockey Week.
Everyone knows about my
Studios in New York, I'm Bob Papa. 2 periods complete. The Blackhawks lead the Blues 5-1. The Wales Conference Finals begin Thursday evening in Boston. The Bruins and Capitals will meet for the first time ever in postseason play. Despite numerous injuries, the Capitals have turned to John Druce for their offense. Druce has compiled 12 goals in 11 games for Washington. He was moved from the 4th line to the top line after Dino Ciccarelli was injured. Boston goalie Andy Moog is wondering who this kid is.
I don't know him, I tell you the truth. I remember him playing on the checking line and just being an up-and-down guy, a very effective checker, and, you know, a physical player, like to take the body and stuff. Never known for his hands. I think he had 7 or 8 this year in the season, but obviously he's found the Midas touch, and he's the key to Washington right now.
Well, one of the reasons that Super Druce has flown into the spotlight is because the Washington roster is like a MASH unit. Let's look at the Caps on crutches. Dino Ciccarelli out with a knee injury. He'll be re-examined. He could be back for game number 3. Kevin Hatcher was injured in game 5 clincher with a knee problem. His status questionable. And goalie Don Beaupre injured 5 minutes into game 3 against the Rangers. He is day-to-day with a groin injury. Well, the Wales Conference, that final action continues on Thursday night. Game number 1 for the Boston Garden. The Capitals against the Bruins, 7:30 Eastern Time. Boston looking for their 2nd conference championship in 3 years. Washington playing in their 1st conference final ever. Meanwhile, in the Campbell Conference, the Edmonton Oilers have just been sitting around and waiting following their quick elimination of the Los Angeles Kings. Oilers head coach John Muckler explains what his team has been doing for the past 7 days.
Maybe we won't be as sharp right off the bat as we would if we were playing every second day. But I'd rather have the rest, and I'd rather heal the wounds that we've been able to do over the rest period that we've had. I can tell in practice that they're antsy to play. There's no question about that, and they want to get into the battle of things.
Well, John Muckler is all set. We look to the future. The Campbell Conference Finals. Game number 1 on Wednesday evening at 9:30 Eastern Time. St. Louis needs a big comeback to beat Chicago. Edmonton, 9:30 Eastern Time. Check your local listings. Wednesday, May 2nd, right here on Sports Channel America. Well,
game. Monday night's matchup between the Blackhawks and the Blues in Chicago.
And, of course, they play that 80-game regular season to see who will have home ice advantage in that just one game. Game 7 of a Stanley Cup playoff series, one of the most exciting scenarios in sports. And when you add the atmosphere and enthusiasm of famed Chicago Stadium to that mix, well, for hockey aficionados, it just doesn't get any better than that. That is, unless you're a hockey fan from St. Louis. You see, the Blues were the visiting team in this setup. They were the underdog, the club that had staved off elimination with a gutty effort in Game 6 and hoped to carry that emotion into Game 7 for the Norris Division title. But sometimes life does not give you all of what you had hoped for. Let's go to Chicago Stadium where the fans were wondering which rookie would sparkle. Would it be Chicago goalie Ed Belfour, or Blues netminder Vincent Randall, or would it be Jeremy Roenick, who has done the job all season? I said Jeremy Roenick. Early first period, takes the feed from Doug Wilson, goes in, splits the defense, and scores in the backhand. 1-0 Chicago. Again, Roenick, this time beating the aging Harold Snepps, who can't keep up with him here, hits the skate of Riendeau. In it goes. It's 2-0 Hawks after 1. Now the Blues took the body to get back into it. Robert Dirk leveling Jocelyn Lemieux there with a clean check, but Steve Larmer wouldn't let him. Shorthanded, he fires, and he beats Riendeau, and it's 1 goal and 4 assists for Larmer, tying a Blackhawk record. The Blues are not amused. The Blackhawks, with Ed Belfour in net, win it by a score of 8-2. That's the final from the Madhouse on Madison. Larmer, a goal and 4 assists. Roenick, 2 goals. The Hawks are the only one of last year's Final Four in the NHL to be back in that grouping. They'll open up the Campbell Conference Finals Wednesday night with Game 1 at Edmonton. The Oilers have home ice in this series because they had 2 more points over those 80 games than Chicago did. Oh, by the way, an interesting sidebar to this game. St. Louis superstar Brett Hull was openly critical of some of his teammates after the loss Monday night, accusing many of them of not giving it their all in Game 7. Ann?
Turning to baseball, the New York Yankees are still having a tough time figuring out how to deal with the A's. Monday night, the Yanks ran into Bob Welch and their former left fielder, Ricky Henderson. And when it was all said and done, New York had lost to Oakland for the 10th time in their last 13 meetings. Yes, there were familiar faces at the stadium. Mel Allen joined Phil Rizzuto in the booth, making Allen's 7th decade in broadcasting. Claudell Washington joined the Yanks tonight, sitting on the bench next to disabled pitcher Pascual Perez.